Hey there, welcome to the Art Remake video series. Today I'll be showing you how to use a tree slice as a loom to make a natural weaving like this one. Hope you like it. For this project, you need a tree slice. For a good warp, I would use a strong cotton. I think this one is a 4/8 or an 8/4 cotton, depending if you're ordering it from Canada or from the United States. You need scissors. Some small nails would be good. These are just like little finishing nails. You need a hammer to hammer them in. And I did that just a minute ago and put in about, I don't know, an inch apart around the circumference of your tree slice. Then you have to begin to warp the loom. Begin to tie on your warp at an end. I picked this end because I see these nails that look almost as if they're in a straight line. So we're going to treat that as sort of the end of the warp. If you're trying to think about this more rectangularly. And so I just make a simple knot a couple times. Then I am going to move down the line and I'm just wrapping the nail with the warp. I'm keeping it taut. It doesn't matter which direction you go around it. And now I'm moving this way up to that nail and then across the piece, wrapping, again moving, advancing, wrapping across the piece, moving up, cross, wrap, keeping it tight, moving up the piece, cross, wrap, and like this. Gonna go like this across the whole piece. Sometimes I wrap once, sometimes I wrap twice. Because it's a circle, you could have your warp running the other way too. It's up to you. You could probably also make it a circular warp, which I'll show you what that looks like in another video. Okay, so I'm at my end. I'm just going to snip off a tail, get the warp out, and tie it around the last, or sort of the next to last nail. I'm trying to keep that tension tight. Okay, so that's your warped loom. Okay, so here we have our tree slice. We have it warped. Now it's time to weave. Pick some fronds, dried up fronds from a fern of mine that goes, we've kept it going for like 16 years and it goes through many cycles of growth and death, and these are the fronds that I've picked off, the dead ones. But I thought they might make an interesting weaving because they are flexible, but also have, you know, the sturdiness, so I don't have to use a needle to weave. And I'm going to begin by weaving kind of the middle, which is not typically how you begin to weave, but I am going to go to this outside warp end and go under. Then I'm going over the next one and then under its neighbor, then over and under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and over. And you can kind of just move it since it's stiff and place it where you want it to go. This is a nice long one, so it's nice to go through the diameter of the circle. I'm going to go next to it with another really long one. Again, over, under, just like you've learned to weave probably in school with paper strips or something. This is this is called plain weave. And these warps ends are very far apart when in terms of weaving, so they're not going to produce a very tight weave. But the purpose of this kind of loom is that you can take it apart and add to it. It's meant to be more of a centerpiece or an exercise in creating with natural materials, and not meant to be functioning as like a garment or something where you would need. It is pretty meditative to work with this. One of the elements of weaving that I really like is that you are creating wholeness out of disparate pieces, and you're transforming them into a new structure, into a new textile. And right now, taking these dead fern fronds, I will learn to say someday, it is seeing them in a new way. It's seeing them not as these skinny, like representations of decay of a fern that is struggling to survive, but it's seeing them kind of, I'm feeling like they're strengthening this warp so nicely, almost like a basket sensibility. I still am trying to pick long ones. I'm going to skip up to here to work a little bit on this side. And what's also great about weaving like this on this stump loom, I keep calling it a stump tree slice, is that it's easier to break the rules. You don't have to you can be a little bit more flexible with how you are weaving. There's no order, there's no right, there's no wrong. For other kind of weavings, you kind of have to start at the beginning and end at the end, which I'll show you in another video, of course. This is a little bit more playful. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. I'm kind of breaking off broken end pieces, but you don't have to. Other things that you could weave with would be vines, leaves. This would be a great activity to do in the fall time if you want to have a place to display your beautiful fall leaves, the autumn leaves. Sneak it in there. Feathers are another thing that you could display in this kind of a loom. And you could also try weaving with flowers. I don't know how, or like you could make a base structure like this, but then tuck flowers into it, or pine needles, pine pieces. All right, so I'm going to keep weaving and check back with you in a minute. Okay, oh, here's a feather. Here's a feather that I found outside, so maybe you could stick it even just kind of like this. You could add your leaves, or here's like a, pretend this is a pretty leaf. You could add things that then become more dimensional with this structure that's been formed, which is kind of interesting too. breaking the grid. So I kind of like this idea. And these I'm just tucking in, but you could probably, with a less brittle material, weave them in a little bit more. Almost making a nest. Some of these are pretty brittle. Okay. All right, well that's it for today. Thank you for watching the Art We Make video series. I hope you enjoyed your weaving tutorial. Let me know how it goes if you decide to make the project. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.